Don't be overly focused on having faith in God just in one area. It was this one area that I would just be praising God about left and right. And it was just always that focus on that one area, right? And I found that I will be getting attacked in that area and discouraged in that area the most, regardless of having all that faith. What God showed me is that I was overly focusing on that area. I was putting too much emphasis on that one area. So you just want to balance things out, you know what I mean? Because the Bible says that God hates a false balance. It was a time where I would fast so much. For example, I would do all of these extensive fasts, and doing those extensive fasts would make me sick. I literally did a Daniel fast for 6 months. Then I turned around and did another Daniel fast for a year, and I was miserable on those fasts. And that was because I overdid it. I overdid that area of fasting. And you can do that with any area. You can over pray. I used to pray for 12 hours at a time. If I did that today, that would be overdoing it because I got so much other stuff that I have to do. So, you just have to balance it all out for real. Definitely do that as you're applying faith in different areas. Don't overly focus on one area, because God don't want to just bless you in one area. He want to bless you in all areas. The Bible talks about how Abraham was blessed in all things. I want to say this too, like God is very serious when he tells us to do stuff like having balance. Like I said, I used to overly focus on that one area, just having faith in that one area, and I would get attacked. And one reason I would get attacked by the enemy due to overly focusing on that area is from not following that commandment to have balance. God is serious about us just being in order and following different commandments, such as having balance. So me overly focusing on that area invited the enemy in to attack me in that area. This was the same thing that happened to me when I would overly fast in the past. The enemy would come in and attack me as I was doing those extensive fasts, and he would make me afraid to eat regular food. He would come to me and speak to me and tell me to keep fasting, and don't eat. And I would be afraid to eat. So all of that fasting actually turned demonic. It turned into me being afraid to eat regular food, as if God had a problem with me eating regular food. And that same thing happened in this other area that I was overly focusing on, trying to have faith in. A lot of fear came in, and a lot of confusion and just attacks in that area because I was overly focusing on it. And speaking of overly fasting though, something that I turned around and started doing was I started overly eating. Once God released me from doing all that extensive fasting for so long, he told me to calm down, and he told me to start just doing like 2 24-hour water fasts a week. What I did though was I started doing those 2 24 hours a week for so long, to the point where I stopped extensively fasting. That actually caused me to fall into disobedience in the area of fasting, because I should have known to keep extensively fasting every now and then. But with me not extensively fasting, it invited the enemy in too, because now I was overeating. And the enemy came in and he started telling me to eat, 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 eat. I was thinking that it was God telling me to eat, 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 when God wanted me to keep doing my extensive fast, but just not as much. So what I should have been doing was just balancing out my extensive fasting as well as eating. I could have been doing both, but I overdid both of them, and the enemy was able to come in on both sides. He came in through me overly fasting, and he came in through me overly eating for so long after I stopped doing all those fasts. So that's a testimony to encourage you to strategize in every area of your walk by having balance in every area of your walk with God.